Well, I always forget to start my videos until it's way too late, so I always like finish the project. I'm like, oh, I could have made a video about that. But yeah, this is what I'm working on here soon now. It's a Ve Cummins, as you can see. It's nothing special, but it's going in a 5500 Dodge, and I'm gonna convert it to like Hydro Boost brakes and put this 48RE full manual valve body behind it. I'll have to build that. Well, I already built the transmission. I just got to build the valve body still. And then I got to get some bolts to bolt this all together and then clean it all up, make it look really nice, and yeah, I don't know. Haven't even really looked at the truck too much yet, so I'm not too sure, but I'm sure I'll make it pretty cool. Well, I blocked these vacuum things off, so I'm not going to need those. We're going to use the power steering for the brakes, just like a Hydro Boost setup in most of the new trucks now. And I'm just kind of cleaning everything up, getting rid of stuff we don't need. Pulled off that transmission heat exchanger thing there because we'll just run an external cooler. It's probably a better idea. And I think I'm going to pull this belt system off and reroute it so we can delete the AC compressor and have a shorter belt. Well, considering we need to build like a downpipe and intercooler piping and everything already, once we put this in the truck, I figure we might as well put a 3rd gen turbo on it too, because we're going to build all this stuff anyways, so might as well build it right the first time rather than wasting our time putting this on, because you can see look how tiny that outlet is and tiny exhaust, and they're just not the greatest turbos in comparison to these 3rd gen turbos. So we'll get this on there and we'll have a bigger intake, a bigger outlet, bigger exhaust, a wastegate too. So everything should work up, everything should just bolt up as is. I should be able to use the stock drain, and I just gotta take these studs out and drill them so they studs on this turbo will fit in there. And the only thing I really need to modify is the oil feed. I got both the feeds here, this stock 3rd gen one and the 1st gen one. This is a 3rd gen, that's a 1st gen. So these threads are not the same in either of these, so I can't really make that work in any way. I tried, but I got a bunch of AN lines and stuff, so I'll just build my own. It's M12 by 1.25 here, or M12 by 1.5 I think, and then in the top here it's the same thing. So I'll just get some fittings and build my own 6 AN line between those two, and then that's it. Then we'll have a 3rd gen turbo on here. If you want to clock one of these turbos, like spin the housing so it fits right, you just gotta take it apart and pull this little pin out, and then you can spin it. There's one on the back usually too, in here. You can pull those out too, and then you can spin your exhaust housing a little more, your exhaust elbow thing a little more too. So now I can spin that, and I gotta pull this clip out of here so I can spin the compressor side. That might be a little more tricky. Well, I got that clip out of there. It wasn't too bad. I was trying to use these pliers at first, but it was not really working. So I just built my own tool here. You see, I just cut one side of it off. That worked really well. Came out in one go. Really easy. So I'll keep that in my toolbox. A new tool, specifically for these turbos. So you got to pull that little pin out there before you can spin it. Have them on the back and the front and the exhaust. So rip all those out and we can spin it all around and get it exactly how we want it. Might clean this thing up too. Check it out, the stock drain just bolts right up. Obviously you have to clock the turbo first, but you have to do that anyways, so it's no big deal. Yeah, it fits up good. So I'm gonna get that compressor housing now. Oh, I might have to clean it first before it'll go on. Oh, there we go. Alright. I'll just set that like, yeah, something like that. And I'll just plug this, cut this off, shine it all up. And then I'm just going to build I think I'm just going to block the wastegate off either completely or put it on, build some of the bolts to here, but that bolts up nice, so I don't know if I want to mess with that, so I'll probably just tack that close and then we're done there. Don't need a wastegate for this thing. Never ran a wastegate on my 3rd gen, so not too worried about that. Cut all those things off and cleaned it up a little bit. And then we have like a normal looking turbo. It's much better. Awesome. Obviously I can clean up the rest of the turbo now, but yeah, it's all looking pretty good. The only thing I gotta do now is just the oil feed, but I gotta go pick up a 1/8 NPT to 6AN adapter first before I can do that. So yeah, probably start cleaning everything up now. Looks way better now. Just hit it with the buffer and yeah, made a big difference. I just used the buffer on my grinder there. I'm just stripping all the parts off now so I can get a good paint job on it. I'm not worried about taking this manifold off though, because that might turn into another whole job, so leave the manifold on there and I'll just paint it first, and then I'll tape off the manifold and paint everything else. And I can't get this, I didn't even try to get this off because you can see somebody's already ruined this bolt in here. And they've also, you can see they've been trying to go with that too. So I'm not even going to try. I just cleaned it up a bit with my buffer, and I'll tape that off. I'll clean this up a bit too, and I'll tape that off, and then the fan can go black with the rest of the engine. Same with the water pump. I just buffed it a bit, and then I'll tape it off, and then everything else can be black. Take the tape off, and then it'll look good. But yeah, everything's pretty much just going to get painted. I'm just taping it off a little bit. Took the rear adapter plate off too because it's super dirty. I might just buff this up, keep the nice aluminum silver color. I think I'll pull this cover off too, make that look nice in aluminum, but everything else will just be black. I think I'm going to pull the top of the pump off here and make it all nice and shiny and silver, but I'll leave the bottom black because I got to pull the top off anyways so I can put a governor spring in there. And then yeah, so just taping it off, and then I'll start getting some paint on this thing. I'm going to paint this turbo too because I got the front of it all nice now, so I'll paint the rear as well. And this is how I deleted my wastegate here. Just made a little piece of metal and tacked it to the housing, and then yeah, no more wastegate. Who needs boost control? So I just got the top of the pump pulled off here, so I could just tape it off, and then I'd be able to actually paint behind the pump and the head too, because I don't really need to take the whole pump off because I'm just going to paint it anyways because somebody's already painted it, and to clean that all off would just be a huge pain in the ass. So I'll just paint that black with the engine, and I need to put a governor spring in there anyways. And then this, I was going to try and clean this up because it's on the bench, so it's a little easier. Maybe get some sandpaper or something, and yeah, I don't know, keep cleaning it up. Try to clean it up at least, because if this was shiny and the bottom was black, and then like this is shiny, and then like the lines are shiny, but everything else is black, I think it'll, I don't know, I think it'll look good. So that's what I'm doing. Just about to throw some paint on it now. Well, I figured I'd make this nice and shiny just to offset the black a little. Looks pretty good, I think. So I'm just working on these random pieces here. These are just things I'm going to paint black. A bunch of brackets and stuff, and then I'm going to start working on these lines now too. They don't look very good like that, so I just kind of clean them up. And then they look like that. Just get everything all cleaned up there, and then I'll start getting these ones done too. Make them all shiny. The turbo's all ready to go. Just gotta put it back together and put it on there, and then oh yeah, this should go in my things to paint pile. So yeah, getting there. I'm just working on these lines right now. These ones I sanded them down so they looked all nice and shiny, and then I clear coated over them. It looks pretty good for the most part. A lot of work though to do that. So for these ones I tried just painting it with some metallic silver I had from my Cadillac. And well, it's really hard to show, but I think those ones turned out a little better. And way less work too, because I only have to just sand it down just enough to rough it up so the paint sticks and clean them up and stuff like that. But those ones you gotta sand them down until they're nice and shiny and everything before you can even touch them. Oh, what are you doing here? So yeah, I think I'll paint the rest of them like this, which is good because that's a lot less work. So I'm gonna do all the actual injector lines now. I'm pretty happy with how those lines turned out. So I'm just about to start putting them back on the engine. I got some of this other stuff all painted black too. Just some random brackets and the power steering pump, making it look a little better. And I put the return on this morning here. Looks pretty good with the silver, I think. And the little pickup. Painted like the bottom of the pickup black, but then I just shined up the top. Got all those lines on there, and the turbo too. It's looking pretty good. Still gonna do the valve covers, obviously, but yeah, I'll probably do that right now actually. Just got those covers painted. Looking pretty good. I think I'm going to get some shiny Allen head bolts for them instead of the stock ones. Just so it's got like more of a, because these will be black and everything else is black, and then I'll have like shiny bolts on the top. And I'm just working on my turbo feed right now. I got a AN fitting in here, 6 AN, and then I got a adapter here to another 6 AN. So now I'm probably just go like maybe a 45, or maybe I can go 90 it, go straight down. I only got a couple fittings, so we'll just see what we can do. 90, a couple 45s and straight, should be able to figure something out. Just finished up that oil feed. Seemed to turn out okay, I'm pretty happy with it. I was hoping I could just use the stock one, but yeah, it was definitely not going to happen. But I was able to use the stock return, at least. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Just putting this pump back together, you can see I pulled this cap off here, and then you have this adjustment, which is pretty much like the maximum fuel the pump can run. So you pretty much want to back that out as far as you can without letting it run away. And then this here, if you pull this freeze plug off the top, that gives you basically your minimum fuel adjustment. So if you go in more with this, it's just going to smoke more all the time without any boost. So you don't really want to touch this too much, but maybe if you're trying to build a bigger turbo. And then like here's your fuel pin, you can see it was riding right there before. So it'd be in there like that. But if you pull it out, if you look at the ramp on it, you can turn it a bit. So if it was like that before, or if you turned it like that, since the ramp's much steeper. And you can control this too with this, see it has this spring in here, a diaphragm connected to boost. So this guy here, if you turn it in and out, you can control the preload on the spring. So if you come out a bunch, then the spring's going to be really tight, so it's going to require more boost to move this. But if you go in the other way, then like it goes from no fuel to maximum fuel really easy with like no boost. So that's basically your tuning on these things. You got your minimum fuel that it runs all the time no matter what, and then your maximum fuel, which you pretty much just want to max this out without running away. And then here's your fuel pin, which you can build your own. You could grind this out with a grinder and change it to however you want. This one should work fine though. And then your spring, your preload on the spring. Yeah, that's basically it. Other than like your idle stopper and your max stopper, but you shouldn't have to play with those too much. So yeah, let's put that back together. Get it on the pump. Well, I can't put it on the pump until my governor spring shows up. But I'm hoping it shows up any second now. Just got some hex head or Allen head bolts there for the valve cover. Looks pretty good. So yeah, this thing's pretty much done now. Just gotta put a belt on it and yeah, put it in the truck. So I'll probably start working on this transmission now. I already got one built here for it. I just gotta build a valve body for it still. So I'll probably start working on that now. Or maybe build this one up. Not sure, we'll see. Well, this thing's pretty much ready to go now. Just gotta put it in the truck. But I'm not exactly sure when that's happening, so probably finish the video here. I'm just working on the valve body for it right now. I'm just building a constant pressure full manual valve body. I didn't think I'd really need to make any videos doing it because I already have a good video doing that. I'm just kind of cobbling together like 3 different valve bodies to get one good one here. But yeah, just working on that, and then the transmission will be done. This thing will be ready to go. And hopefully we get it put in the truck soon. Just working on my truck here. I got a new valve cover for it. As you can see, I'm gonna make a video of this, so because I'm gonna build a catch can system. So I think I was gonna go a little more in depth into some theories behind that. So you have to subscribe, obviously, so you don't miss that one. But yeah, pretty much done with this video for now. Engine turned out nice though.